What's up guys, it's Shannon. Today we're going to check out East Parc in Bandar Manjalara. Let's go! Hey guys, so now we are one junction away from Desa Parkcity in this location called Manjalara, and it is used to be describing this very prosperous commercial area within. And here also you will have Lotus hypermarket, and you will have all the commercial buildings for local Kapong folks, right? When they get married, right, usually this is the hot location. Sin Choi Wa restaurant, Choi Wa Lau. Then you will have Wisma Manjalara, then you will have the hotel, then you will have Wisma Fiamma here, and East Parc will be the project located behind Wisma Fiamma. Actually, this is the developer's office lah. And cool note, this used to be a project that I was marketing back then when I was still executive in a real estate agency. Yeah, 5 years ago, now it's completed. And cool fact, when we were marketing that, right, the highway was not really zoned out or planned out just yet. And for those who bought without knowing that the highway, the brand new elevator highway next to it, right, is going to be so surprised looking at it. Yeah, so sometimes you just really gotta choose to be informed whenever we buy properties. But something to take note first, this is a commercial street altogether, and this is those very rare residential buildings located within the street. So in translation, it means that these roads are going to be very busy because there's a hypermarket here, there's a restaurant there are commercial activities all the time. So as a residential, if you're expecting serenity and peace, right, I don't think you're going to get it lah. In return, you get all the convenience that you need within walking distance. So now you can actually just walk to your friend's wedding if you want to. If not, you can go to the hypermarket, and inside you will have a cinema, you will have Mr. DIY, you will have your grocers and etc. Everything is there. Then on this side, you will have all the commercial makan minum places around. That includes all the kopitiam, all the cafes, right, all inside. And it's always a place of havoc during weekends all the time, especially if you're looking for parking spaces. But we're going to check that out later. And by the way, there used to be a small little park before Desa Parkcity's park was a thing. This was the park that locals go to actually. Wow, that just shows my age of how long I've been around doing this thing. Anyway, let's go check out the project. So coming off the main road, this will be this one-way street going around in a loop, right? And this is the one way into East Parc. So that will be the entrance, and it's actually sharing the same entrance as Wisma Fiamma. Let's go. So coming in from the entrance just now, this is a rather fancy drop-off altogether, where it's fully shaded. If someone displays a car park structure a little bit, right, and to use it as a drop-off, so these pins here are actually the structural elements of the tower itself. So when you drop off, you can just drop off here and you proceed along to the car park. On visitor and exit, you just turn back out one way. So in terms of drop-off, it's very fancy, it's very nice, where you have the fountain, you have sitting areas. It's somewhat like an airport drop-off, better than a mall's one. So this is very cool. And also they kind of attempt to use the landscape treatments and some decorative items to hide away the elevated portion of Duke Highway, but unfortunately you cannot hide away the sound. So this is very close actually. Something to take note, but in terms of road width, very comfortable. So you will just drive up further, use a ramp, go up to the elevated car park. So this will be the floor plate of the project, and looking at it, right, it's a very interesting floor plate because it's interconnected. Usually they will separate out this as a one block, this is one block, right? But this one, both lift cores are actually connected to each other, and in total there will be 6 lifts, 3 lifts in one core servicing 13 units. So all the smaller units will be at the wing. The center portion here will be the bigger units because they have a dual key unit here, and in between then you will have this corridor space here where it's going to feel a little bit more open. Yeah, pretty interesting. So coming up from the lift lobby, this building is kind of like separated into 2 wings, but they didn't specify A or B because of the shared lift lobby lah. And the lift lobby here, the width is 2.35 and the height of the lowest point here is 2.65. And it looks very nice because of the windows on this side, and when we look out, we will actually have the view of the facilities on this side. So that's the swimming pool. It's humongous, but there's a communication tower here, and there will be commercial buildings at the side. So just take note. Then for the lift lobby, it's all fully tiled up from floor to ceiling. You will have the lift panel like this by Schindler, okay? And there are 3 passenger lifts, 1 service lift. Because just now when we looked through the floor plan, we made a mistake. So it's not 3 plus 3, it's actually 4 plus 4 lifts. Totally 8 lifts servicing each floor. And at the side, there will be a small little corridor here that connects into the refuse room. Okay, so this is the size of the refuse room. Wow! So it's full height wall tiles all the way. This is so luxurious for a refuse room actually. And yeah, pretty nice, very well done. Just that I wish that there could be a ramp for the ease of moving the bins. Then from the lift lobby, there are no separation or partition via a fire door, so the entire circulation will be very smooth going back to the unit. So on this side, this will be the smaller units at the edge. This will be the connecting bridge over to the center portion of the layout where all the big units are. And here you can feel one very obvious thing already, which is the traffic noise. And most of the noise actually comes from this elevated tube highway that was newly erected, so you can hear the noise pretty clearly from this level, unfortunately. But anyway, this bridge feels nice where you have all the windows giving you ventilation and daylighting, and because they also foresee that rain will fall through, they spec'd in a very big drain. Okay, so the width of the corridor is very luxurious, 2.35, and the height to the lowest point is 2.65, just like the lift lobby. And they come with certain decoration items. For the units within this center portion, you get to have 8 lifts, 4 lifts of each side to choose to travel from. So if your car park located closer to this lobby, then you take that. If not, you can go the other one and take that. Wow, so nice. Anyway, this will be the unit I'm going to check out today. Obviously, this is a dual key unit, and this unit just completed the entire makeover process. It's going to be handed over tomorrow of the day of shooting itself. So we got this right on time. Anyway, the width of the foyer is 1.78. Very luxurious. Let's go check it out. Anyway, today this will be the unit we're going to check out. Type J dual key. The build up is 1510 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 3 bathroom. Okay, so it means that this is 1 unit, this can be 1 unit, and it can go through the foyer. So when we are at the foyer, we were surprised that, hey, why got 2 doors, right? It's because it's 1 unit altogether, and you can add in your own grill at the front. Coming into the main unit, this will be the dining. Then there will be a living. This is humongous lah. Then we will have the balcony connecting to the kitchen and the dry kitchen as well to the backyard. Then going in, we will have this small little bedroom 1, bedroom 3, bedroom 2, and the master bedroom. So all bedrooms are actually sharing the facade line. You will have the ensuite bathroom here along with the shared bathroom here. What I like is they still have some spare space for the utility rooms here. That's good, and the yard space seems very big. And if you need extra space, then this will be a separate unit altogether. It can also come with their own ensuite bathroom, also a kitchen if you want to. Coming into the main unit, the clearance of the door, I like it. It's 1.03 meters. Means the door is bigger than 1 meter itself. This is very generous because this will ease all the moving of the furniture, especially big ones like piano, your settee, whatsoever. And coming in, this will be your unit, and it's amazing. So here will be your dining, here will be your dry kitchen, then your living, then the balcony. Wow! So the space is just crazy in scale. So the kitchen walls distance to the sliding door, right, is 7.3 meters, and the living space width from wall to wall is 4.5 meters. And for the ceiling height, it's 3 meters, very comfortable. And what enhances the space further will be this full length glass sliding door. So you can see that It's a dual panel kind of thing. Wow, this is so good. But just that the view is And for this leasehold project, if we look into the portals, right, because this is still very new, there's not much listing actually. It's just the same exact units with a lot of agent posting on them. The unit of this size currently it's going for 800,000 to a million. I guess the main difference will be the height to it because of the distance away from the junction, and we will go and check that out later. That's going to be a major difference, and it comes to a price range of around 600-ish ringgit per square feet for a property here. That's why when you make a comparison of this with Desa Parkcity, right, you will really see the difference. Like, why is there 900 to 1,000 per square feet? Why here 650? And apparently there's still several units left unsold. Then for rental wise, for 3-bedroom units around 3,000 to 3,300 fully furnished, and for the studio is around 1,500 to 1,800 per month. So I think if you take all together, it's going to be 4,000 to 4,500 in terms of rent for this unit. Yeah, as we mentioned just now, from the living space going out to the balcony, right, this looks very nice now, but after we open and we access out, unfortunately we are facing the elevated portion of Duke Highways immediately, and this is the junction from Desa Parkcity connecting right over to Metro Prima of Kepong. Here you have all the industrial areas of Kepong. You will have the pylons around. There will be some government housing here, public schools, and the sewage treatment plant. And this used to be the original setting of Manjalara itself, so you can see all the single-story houses, very homey back then. And right in front, in between the junction and the project, there will be this lap pool. So there will be 2 swimming pools within this project itself. But what we can feel right now is the noise of traffic, and that is very obvious now. So especially in the corridor just now, when you have that echo going on, the noise just gets prolonged around the corridor. I'm not too sure, later we need to check when we close all the windows in the unit, right? Is it better? I hope so. I really hope so, because this is a great discount for the project actually. Just imagine if this is not here, right? Oh, this is going to be such a beautiful project altogether. You got mountain views and all, but yeah lah, what to do. So just now as we mentioned, the price difference, right, between the lower floor unit versus the highest floor unit is going to be a big difference, because you don't see all this at the highest floor already. Then for the width of the corridor, it's 980 mm, and it comes with a glass handrail with steel, and it's built on a curb, so it feels nice yet retains the openness of the view lah. So that's very nice. Okay, sound check. So let's close this. Wow, that's good. And the windows are actually tinted, so you won't feel as hot during the day lah. Okay. Wow, that's a relief. What a big relief. Anyway, walking into the dining space, this will be the access to the studio unit. This will be the dining space, and that will be the dry kitchen. So it looks like this entire setting comes directly with the unit itself, where you have a breakfast counter. Here, this will be your little island, and it comes with all the cabinets. It comes with all the drawer and stuff, so that's good. This will be the location of the fridge, microwave, L-bar, hood and hob. This is a 4-burner backsplash. Nice. And this will be all the kitchen cabinets. Nice. And this will be the basin. This is by Rubin, and I like that it's top covered, so you can only just clean everything in. So the length of the counter here from this point to this point is 2.73 meters, very sizable, and they're actually longer. You can actually put more things at the side, and this is going to be very nice during the morning, right? You can have breakfast here, have very nice conversations, because the layout is actually very open, and they actually position the beam across the divider of the room, so you won't notice it, but it's actually just a beam here. You still have the full height for the ceiling, and next to this space then you will have the yard space, and I like that they have this kind of treatments for the door and windows, so in terms of visibility and privacy, it's good. I will always know what's going on in the yard space, whether is there people or not. So walking into the space, this will be the yard space. where you can do your laundry. It can be an extension as a wet kitchen as well if you need to. But here you can really feel the noise from the road. Okay, but this openness, it means that this extra side of facade only is applicable to the units within the center corridor of the floor plate itself because of the typology. So these 3 units is going to be very luxurious in terms of ventilation and daylight. Yeah, so you have all floor tiles and you have spray paint for the external walls. Cool. From the kitchen then going in, this will be the first bedroom, and I guess this is not officially supposed to be a bedroom because of its limited scale. The width here is 1.93 and the length is 3.5. How I wish they could push this line a little bit eating over to the living side, because 4.5 for a living room, a bit overkill in my opinion. Maybe that extra 2 feet can be very useful for this bedroom. Also, there's another possibility where they make this wall hackable. It means an extra possibility of customizing this room. Maybe I can hack it off, make it into a baby space or a workspace that's still attached to it. There will be a lot of possibility in that, but that's just some suggestion. Anyway, in terms of flooring, they are providing laminated timber floor and timber skirtings as well. Yeah, signs of renovation mean signs of people moving into the project. Always good. Moving on through the corridor space, I like this space actually. So this is an extra storage space, very underrated. A lot of units don't even provide this anymore, so I like it. But just that the mechanism of the doors, this looks like a utility room from the corridors outside. Well, you can always renovate and change the door if you want to. Then here you will have a common shared bathroom. The basin will be by Hoster and the WC is also by Hoster. You will have full height wall tiles, a frosted window on the side, shower screen, and you will have the shower by Ruby itself. So everything looks very nice, very complete. And moving opposite, then this will be bedroom number 2. So the size of the room is 3.06 by 3.4. Very sufficient. You can put in your queen size bed and you still have space for your wardrobe, but I don't know why they didn't include this. Maybe the owner don't want. You have laminated timber floor just like the room before, and the window panel facing the same view of the facade. So in this layout itself, all bedrooms gets to have part of the facade line, so that's very nice in terms of room quality. But there will be some structural lines across the room itself. So there's one more here behind the room door. So these are the signs of column. So this will be a shear wall, right? And this will be the brick wall. But is it a hindrance to the internal layout? Not really lah. So I think it's still okay. Okay, moving on to the final room itself. Whoa. So from wall to wall here is 3.5 and the length of the room is 3.38. Usually it's 380mm bigger than your normal bedroom. After putting in the bedside tables, wardrobe, you still have a very comfortable space for circulation. Whew. You have the size of the 3 window panels here, very nice. And it's not full height from floor to ceiling, but I think this is good enough. Then moving on, this will be the ensuite bathroom. So this window here may look like an ordinary window, right? But this is only accessible via units located within the center portion of the floor plate, because this is an extra facade. Usually apartment units get 1 facade line, that's about it. If you're a corner unit, you get 2 facade lines. This one you get 2. Very nice. That's why after setting the bathroom away from the facade line, you still get a facade line here. If not, this would require mechanical ventilation immediately ready, and that would increase maintenance costs a little bit, right? Anyway, I like the size of the bathroom. It's so big. So you have same Hoster WC, Hoster basin, and they give you this top here, very nice. But how I wish that it comes with a backlit mirror, then this is like a hotel already. Shower screen, full height wall tiles, and I like the finishes. It feels very luxurious, very nice. Okay, back to the living space. This will be the connecting door over to the studio unit, which is the +1 unit of this dual key arrangement. I'm thinking like if this is going to be shared between one family, then this might be useful lah, which means that they get to access the unit straight away like that. But I'm just thinking out loud, right? If I were to remove this door or I just like close it, this would be a very very nice space to put in your sideboard. You can have a very nice wooden table here or a deco item here, right? Woo. But it depends, it depends on what you want to achieve. But anyway, this is the studio unit. It's going to be like a hotel unit or even better. And the door also comes with a lock on both sides, so it gives you the possibility of renting this out separately to a stranger. And the best part is the stranger can access this unit directly without going through your unit. The only thing shared between both units will be the foyer, and that's also one way of planning the unit for your future. In other words, this dual key unit has a lot of functions altogether. So from an own use point of view, you will have your nuclear family with a +1 extended, right? It's either your parents or the old folks or your in-laws, or sometimes you will have niece and nephews, or you will have constant guests that comes in and visit you every single weekend. That might be a very convenient space. Or your family is just big enough to fully use the entire 1,005 square feet. So that would be ideal. And in that format, then this door, you might just open it up, don't have the door at all. Or another arrangement will be this used as a home office. This would be a very nice home office. It means that anything within this boundary, dear son, don't come and kacau daddy. So that would be a very clear distinction between home and office. The other format will be the family taking up the bigger unit. The smaller unit will be rent out, and that rent can be used to cover the monthly installment a little bit. So just now, if you think about, if you buy this unit at 800,000, where your monthly installment is going to be 3,600, and a small unit can be rented out at 1,500, you can actually cover half of your installment already. That can be one format of affording a bigger unit for the future, just in case when suddenly now you have your second baby and your third baby coming, right? You really need this space, then dear tenant, after tenancy, ciao, then you take over the unit and you make this into your extra room for the kids. That can also be the possibility. So the entire usage of this is just very, very flexible. And it's always a debate between a 1,005 full unit versus a 1,005 dual key unit. Which one would you prefer then? No matter how you design this unit, right, there will be a sense of partition, because there will always be a just in case scenario where this unit is rented out to a stranger and you don't want it to be too close with the core family. Yeah. Anyway, from the side door, this will be the main door coming in. Yeah, so as I was saying, right, if there is no need for this side door, it means that if this is going to be your office, we can just seal this up or just lock it, right? This whole panel can be storage space, it can be a cabinet space. That's going to be so nice. And this is also an example where you can have an opening, even though we apply shear wall system within the high-rise tower. So these are all going to be brick walls, and this is the door in between, right? So technically this is not load bearing. Technically we can open this up, but I don't have the technical drawings, so I'm not suggesting that we can hack this, but we can always check with the engineer, or we can pre-allocate this during the development stage of the project. Imagine this can be opened up, right? Woo! This is going to be a fabulous TV space for or playroom for the children, right? Walking into the unit, we can see a lot of signs of structural elements around. The structural elements are rather crude, but they are still okay, still manageable. It's not sticking out too obviously. Okay, they are all located within the transition area of spaces. The team decided to put in a shelf here, and at the side, this will be the pantry. And it seems like this is built in by the developer. So this will be the wardrobe space that also serves as a partition between the bed and the kitchen space. This is very sufficient for a couple or one person who is renting this, right? This is a 2-burner with all the drawers, top cabinet, hood and hob, along with the basin. And this will be the ensuite bathroom. And this looks like the master bedroom. This is also by Hoster. Basin, WC, shower screen, shower system, also the window access. And again, this is the third side of the unit that can have the facade line for openings really. So this is really a luxury. And I like the vanity cabinet. This is very convenient. A lot of developers don't provide this, but this one does. Good job. On the other side, then you will have the king size bed, and you still have a lot of room at the side, and this will be the 3-panel window having the same view as the balcony lah. So this is a very comfortable studio unit, I must say, because after you put in a bed, right, you still have such width. It means, right, you can be a very nice personal office also. You can put in a lot of tables. You can host a team to work here even. And I guess that's all for the unit. Let's go check out the facilities deck. So we are now at level 5, which is the facility deck, and if you look into the floor plate, against the plinth of the residential tower, there's a lot of canvas space for the facilities. And coming up from the lift lobby, on the external side, we have this open space here where you have the reflexology pathway, you have some outdoor workout areas. Then this will be the maintenance office, and the multi-purpose halls is divided by the landscape buffer. So at the fringe of the boundary, all will be landscape buffer, and they built it rather high so children will not climb, so that's very nice. In terms of landscape, you look into the trees, the density and frequency of them is very high, so that's nice. But you can still feel the traffic intensity, although you cannot see them. In terms of visual wise, you don't get them, but in terms of audio wise, you can still feel the intensity lah. On one side then, this will be the children's play area. You will have swings, some slides, and this will be the barbecue pit. So this is the non-halal one. It means there will be another one that is halal. So it's designed in an angular format to kind of break the entire form of the floor plate altogether, and it's built on a staggered one, so I'm not too sure in terms of inclusivity is this good. And then this will connect to the first pool. This is somewhat like that children's play area, the children's pool located next to the jacuzzi on the opposite. And something to point out, on the side of the facade, right, they kind of added all these panels to break the scale of the form. I appreciate it, it looks kind of nice. And then this is the pool side, and we also have some pavilions at the side, the jacuzzi, and walking around the facility deck surrounded by landscape treatments, right, it's actually very nice. Just too bad we have the traffic noise and we have the office buildings in the front. So when we are enjoying ourselves, we are actually facing the back facade of Wisma Fiamma. It's good because it shields you away from the noisy commercial area, but you are then facing the aircon compressors from the office complex. So while you are chilling, relaxing here in the pavilion, having a chat, you have all the aircon noise and exhaust blowing out from all that part. So just something to take note, right? And looking at it, there are several levels for the facility deck. So there will be up and down, sunken decks and elevated ones. Then you will have islands in the center of them, trying to break your path of circulation. Very interesting. And here then will be the second barbecue pit. This will be the halal one, and it's located in the sunken area here. And going upwards, this will be the swimming pool area. And I'm surprised that the timber decks are already damaged. So these are timber panels, and it's damaged by the moisture and heat of our weather. That's why sometimes when we think about timber decks, right, it's seriously too high maintenance really. I will always prefer timber look-alike tiles. That's way easier for maintenance. You see, just handed over already got bulging already. Our weather is just too bad. But anyway, it does not take away the majestic look of the pool itself. This is so nice. So this pool is built in an organic form, and it's somewhat being wrapped by the building itself, and there's an overflowing mechanism into this play area again. So this is very nice again for kids, and you will have this slightly detail of waterfall coming out. Wow, this is very nice there. But then at the side again, you will have the commercial building, which is the restaurant, and in the weekend this will be packed with people and their guests for their wedding. Then at the other side of the pool, then this will be the steps going into the pool. Very nicely done, and this will be little pavilions and your sofa. Very nice. I like the form of the pool, very dynamic. And to access the pool, actually there will be a ramp. So inclusivity wise, very good. Then right opposite of the main pool, this project not only have one, but two, but three water areas. So this is your squarish Olympic lap pool. I think the length is not Olympic. I think it's 35 meters, it's not 50 meters, but it's a good enough lap pool for people who take swimming as a sport. The same problem arises from all the timber finishes. They need to change already, and at the edge there will be stone finishes, but this is right next to Duke Highway. So when you are swimming, at least maybe the sound you don't really care lah, but originally, right, the view here is supposed to be very beautiful one. Yeah, but anyway, too bad. So take note, next to the pool area, then at the edge of the facility deck, this will be the tennis court, also the basketball court. And it's built on this material. I don't know what is this material called, but I like it. So this one will not flood when there's water. At least water flows through it. Yeah, and it's surrounded by the fence, so the balls won't go crazy. And it's surrounded by all the landscape hedges. Nice. So some positive feedback on how they blur the harsh lines of difference between levels, right, using the landscape. So this really just softens the harsh transition line here. So this is just gentle. I appreciate it. Anyway, we are now in the gym room, which is located in a higher floor, and it's a double volume one. What's weird is they have a standard fire door here, so it's somewhat like a normal unit, but they just don't build the partition walls all together. So this is the original structural setting of a unit that we just visited. This is technically how the bones within look like. They just don't cover the unit. So technically, just like as we mentioned, right, the dual key unit, the connection to the studio between the bigger unit, that can be hacked, because here you can see it's open, so it means it can be hacked. Yeah, but anyway, coming back to the gym, this is the cardio area. And the machines are actually furnished by Precore. But what is the hindrance to the space will then be all these structural elements lah. So all these columns here are big. Yeah, cardio spaces all facing the big windows at the side. This will be the rowers, and there will be 2 levels of it. Let's go check it out. Coming up then, you will have a weight area here that is weird. So you have only 1 bench for the whole project. This will be the free weights area. This will be the studio where you can do dancing or pilates or whatsoever lah. So we are now at the elevated car park, and this is the distance away from the local road, also the elevated portion of Duke Highway. Apparently there's an exit here for residents, but it's only for emergency exit. I don't know when it can be open. So if you can just directly go out from the local road here, it would be a lifesaver on busy area, because the front road there is a one-way street. Anyway, for the car park then, on the exterior part of the structure then, it will be very bright. You will have cement rendered floorings, epoxy paint for pedestrian walkways. Then in the center portion, it's a bit weird due to the structural layout. They didn't have a transfer beam across, therefore they just inherit all the shear wall right to the car park itself. That's why you will have this very narrow format of car parks and a lot of wastage actually. So you can see all these spaces are just all wasted. This car park is not as effective, and the piping seems rather last minute, uncoordinated. And the entire car park strategy is not very effective also, because you will have this row here, somewhat like an island, right? You have car parks in an island format where the front is road, the back is also road. Very, very dangerous actually. And going up and down, there will be the ramp here, and every ramp will bring you 1 story down, so you can just ramp down like that, going 1 level, again another level, again another level. Okay, and the utilities here are very, very tight. So this clearance is 2.1 meters only. This is very, very tight. So if you have cars that want to put a bicycle on top, right, cannot pass already. Yeah, so the coordination work between consultants are not done very well. So walking distance away, this is the hypermarket, right? Where inside you will have Yamaha, you will have KFC, Starbucks, you will have Celebrity Fitness, cinema, and also it's pretty convenient. If that's not your choice, this is the commercial area of Manjalara. So here you have all the consultant office on the upper floors most of the time. On the bottom then, it will always be F&B outlets lah. So here you have all your dim sum lah, your noodle lah, your mamak lah, your cafe lah. A lot of clinics here, don't know why, a lot of pet shops as well. I think to leverage on the folks that always bring their pets to Desa Parkcity lah, I guess. Right, so within walking distance, you have all these at reach. And I think that's all for the project today. It's now time for Sean's take 3 on 3. So for the first 3 thing I like, number 1 will be the design elements. That includes, first of all, the main drop-off. That is like a hotel drop-off. The sense of arrival, like you go in, after you pass through the security guard, you drive up a ramp and you reach this space where you can drop off. That's amazing. Then when you go up to the unit itself, the unit that we checked out, in terms of width, length, scale, everything, it's nice. The kitchen space is so spacious, and the practicality of the dual key unit. Oh. Then when you reach the facility deck, it feels like a whole different dimension altogether, mainly because of the landscape treatments altogether. They're providing not one, not two, but 3 water play areas, so it's very sufficient for all users. And that's very close to the second point that I like, which is the density of the project. So within this proximity itself, not many residential towers like this. The closest one will be Desa Manjalara, and projects around this area, they tend to have lower density. So this project itself, you will have 432 number of units only, and you think about the facility deck, right, serving those number of units, absolutely amazing. And because of that also, it highlights further on the specifications of the common areas. So for the common areas, you think about it, right, for 332 units of residence, the corridor is 2.3 meters, and you will have a design of a floor plate where you will have 8 lifts servicing 13 units in total. Wow! So in terms of privacy, in terms of exclusivity, right, it feels very, very nice. And last of all, of course, will be this location that has absolute convenience. So in terms of accessibility in highway, so now a junction away, we get to fly up connecting to Duke Highway immediately. Then on the other side, you get to go into MRR2. On one side, you go into Sungai Buloh. Then you can access to LDP Highway, and that brings you to Damansara side. So if you are working in proximity, that is absolutely amazing. Then in terms of convenience, within walking distance, you get to access hypermarket, restaurants, commercial areas, and if you drive a little bit more, you get to access to Desa Parkcity Park, Damansara, Sungai Buloh, Kepong area, where there are just food in abundance, right? And the surrounding has always been a very mature area where you have all amenities like schools, public buildings. The closest MRT station is also like 5 to 10 minutes away only, so that's pretty cool. However, for the 3 things I don't like, number 1 will be the setting of the site. So in front, you have Wisma Fiamma, which is the commercial building. Because they are the landowner, that's why this is like maximizing the most of the land that they have, so they actually just build a project behind, right? This does not feel like a residential plot of land, to be very honest, because it's located right next to the intersection of road connecting Desa Parkcity, Seri Bintang, and further that will be Sekambut already, and also Kepong Metro Prima itself. So that junction, if you look into the size of the road, is 4 lanes by 4 lanes, very, very busy constantly. Not only that, you will have the elevated Duke Highway, and people travel on that road in high speed. That's why the amount of noise that comes through, unfortunately, is very, very loud. And just when you think that you want to escape them a little bit, you go to the facility deck, chill at the pavilion, you are facing the back facade of the office tower where you have all the aircon compressors. And then you have the center road that is dividing the office tower and the residential tower, that is also servicing as a loading bay for the office tower. So you have trucks, you will have heavy vehicles dropping their stuff, and it creates a lot of noise as well. So that's something very important to take note lah. So the only peaceful place that we can somewhat have some serenity is the unit itself, where we seal everything tightly, because everywhere else, right, you will really feel the intensity of traffic. Yeah. And the second thing I don't like will be certain design elements within the project, like why so many pools or water body within the facility deck itself. And if you look into the facility deck, right, there are just too much circulation space. It's wasted space altogether, and I would absolutely relocate the gym that is on the higher floor, right, down back to the facility deck, and use the space that is taken up by the gym. 2 units of it, right, will be transformed into a resident unit that I can sell for another 2 million, at least 1.6 million. So that's going to save way more, and it's going to make the entire facility deck way more efficient, because if you walk around the facility deck, it's actually packed but empty, and the ever-changing levels between the facility is just not very comfortable. And this just got handed over. The timber decks are already ruined. You will have a lot of doors that are not open. Then you have the gym room that is not designated to be a gym, because it's just a normal unit where they take out all the partition walls and they just put equipment inside and they just call it a gym. So at the weights area, the whole 400 over units with 1 bench, I think they can do better. And the angled corridor space altogether, it looks nice. Definitely the experience for the user is amazing, but in terms of efficiency, then it's not very good lah. Like, why do you need to provide such access to all residents? Like the center units, right, is so spoiled, they get to access right wing or left wing altogether. Like, why. It's very luxurious, definitely, but there's better use of money than that. You can easily just reduce the selling price or whatsoever. Don't need to be so generous. But because of the angled format of the layout, you'll create this complicated structural system and you use all shear wall, right? Then all shear wall will be at an angle with each other, and that is translated into the car park structure itself. So if you walk into the car park, it's not very comfortable. Yes, I know the drop-off looks amazing, but it's only for the visitors, ma. For residents, every time when I pass through the car park, then you have this weird angle, and it's just not very comfortable, especially at the highest level of car park where you have all the services all protruding all there in there, right? And with the shear wall within the car park area, the sense of safety is not there because I would not know what's behind the wall because the wall is just too long and too big. Yeah, it just creates that very eerie feeling when I'm at the car park lah. Yeah. Last of all will be the sense of home because of this setting, this commercial setting. This entire stretch, if you pay attention, right, all are commercial buildings like Wisma Manjalara Hotel, Club Gold Hill, Wisma Fiamma, then restaurant, then complex, then hypermarket. This is meant and zoned as a commercial area. But suddenly when you plonk in a residential product, right, then it feels very off. Like this single one-way road, right, it's always going to be busy. On normal hours, it's going to be full with office people. Then on weekends, it's going to be people that come here for cari makan, right? And right in front of the project is going to be a public car park. So it's going to be a very busy street all the time. Especially when weekends got wedding, even worse, gone case. Although it's hidden at the back, so that's the bonus, but it also comes with all the shortcomings. So this site seems like a rather second thought, last chance to develop kind of setting for the developer. And this highlight further on the surrounding of project whenever we pick a unit to invest. So now compare this to the Sri Damansara side, to the Desa Parkcity side, right? We know why one costs more than the other. Suddenly, what's the difference between a lake in front of you and a traffic light junction in front of you? The feeling is absolutely different. Well, that's why this project is also at a more affordable price range lah. That side is way more expensive lor. So do I like this project? Not my favorite because it just feels very busy like, in terms of noise, in terms of traffic, in terms of congestion. I would definitely love all the food here, all the kopitiam here, cafes here, all walking distance. But ultimately a home is still a home because the unit layout is very nice. Just that how I wish that this layout can be parked somewhere else. Anyway, I think that's all for today. If you really like this episode, like it, share, and even subscribe for more information like this. Until next time, this is Shantan. Ciao.